I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts, but here we are. My wife and I have been together 11 years, married for 7. We met in college, built a life, bought a small house, adopted a dumb golden retriever. From the outside, we were boring in the best way. Lately, though, something fell off. She started guard her phone like it contained nuclear codes. She laughed at texts and tilted the screen away from me. She picked fights over nothing, then accused me of emotionally neglecting her when I asked what was wrong. I told myself it was stress from work, or depression, or my imagination. But then she started coming home later, showering immediately, and suddenly caring a lot about lingerie she'd never worn for me. That's when the knot in my stomach stopped being subtle and became permanent. The actual discovery was stupid and accidental, which somehow made it worse. Her laptop died one night, and she asked to use mine. The next morning I opened my browser, and her email was still logged in. I swear I wasn't snooping at first. Then a notification popped up. Last night was dangerous. I loved it, from a name I didn't recognize. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped the mouse. I opened the thread, and there was months of messages, hotel receipts, jokes about me being sweet but clueless. She told him I was emotionally distant, that our marriage was basically over, that she stayed only because I was stable. The twist? The guy was her new mentor from work, the same one she insisted was gay and harmless. Another twist. He was married too. I sat there rereading the same lines until my vision blurred. When I confronted her that night, I thought she'd at least look guilty. Instead, she laughed, like I just told a bad joke. Then she got angry. She said I invaded her privacy, that the emails meant nothing, that I was paranoid. When I showed her screenshots, she switched tactics and cried, said it was only emotional, that I pushed her into it by not listening enough. 5 minutes later, she admitted they'd slept together once. 10 minutes later, it was a few times. Then she claimed he manipulated her, then said I manipulated her by being too passive. At one point, she told me I should be grateful someone still wanted her. The worst twist came when she said she'd already talked to a lawyer, just in case, and suggested an open marriage like it was a compromise. I remember thinking very calmly that I didn't recognize the woman in front of me anymore. After that night, I didn't sleep. I lay on the couch listening to her snore in our bed like nothing had happened, and every memory started rewinding in a new, uglier version. All the girls' nights, the sudden gym obsession, the weekend she said she needed space. By morning, she acted cheerful, made coffee, kissed my cheek, and asked if I was done being dramatic. I went to work in a fog. Around noon, I got a text from an unknown number. She told me, please don't contact my wife. That's when the second punch landed. He knew about me. He'd known the whole time. Later, I checked our bank account and found charges for a boutique hotel I'd once suggested for our anniversary. Another twist. She'd taken him there on the exact weekend. She told me her mother was sick. I finally broke down to my best friend and showed him the messages. He went quiet in a way that scared me. Then he admitted he'd seen her and the guy together months ago and didn't say anything because she begged him not to ruin her life. That betrayal hurt almost as much as hers. When I went home that night, she was packing a bag. She said she needed a break from my negativity and that she'd stay with a friend. I asked whose friend. She said it didn't matter. I asked if it was his place. She stared at me and said, "You're impossible to talk to," then walked out. An hour later, I got an email from her lawyer proposing a separation agreement. The timing was too perfect. This wasn't panic. This was planning. The next few days blurred into nausea and rage. She'd text me apologies in the morning, then by evening accused me of being abusive for monitoring her. One night, she called crying, said he'd dumped her, begged to come home. I almost let her. Then his wife messaged me on Facebook. She found my profile through old photos and wanted the truth. We compared timelines and realized the affair started before our last vacation, before my birthday, before she told me she was trying for a baby with me. That detail nearly destroyed me. When I confronted my wife with this, she denied everything again, then finally whispered, "I don't even know who the father would be." I hung up and felt something inside me go completely, quietly numb. That numbness lasted a full week. I moved back into the bedroom after she came home, pretending we were some kind of broken truce. She oscillated between apologizing and blaming me so fast it gave me whiplash. One moment she swore she cut him off. The next she accused me of forcing her to choose. Then another twist hit. I found a second phone in her gym bag. Burner phone. Entirely different affair. Different man. This one wasn't married. This one she called the one who really understands me. When I asked how many there had been, she said calmly, "Does it matter?" That sentence did more damage than any confession. I realized she wasn't confused or lonely or manipulated. She was comfortable lying, comfortable watching me unravel. That night, I finally slept in the guest room and locked the door, not because I was afraid of her hurting me, but because I was afraid I'd beg her to stay. The sadness came later, quieter but heavier. Anger is loud and burns fast. Sadness just sits with you. I started missing the version of her I thought I married. I cried over stupid things. Our dog waiting by the door for her, a photo from our honeymoon, a mug she gave me that said forever. She noticed and suddenly tried to be kind. She cooked dinner. She touched my arm. She said therapy could fix this. Then, during one honest talk, she admitted she was still texting the first guy for closure. When I said I was done, she laughed and told me I'd never leave, that I was too scared of being alone. That night, I called a lawyer for real. The next morning, she accused me of abandoning her when she was at her lowest. Somehow, I was still the villain in her story. Signing the separation papers felt unreal, like watching someone else's life. She cried in front of the mediator and told everyone she made one mistake. I didn't correct her. I was too tired to fight the narrative. 2 weeks after she moved out, I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved in with the second guy. A month later, she texted me asking if we could start fresh because it wasn't working out with him. I didn't answer. Blocking her felt like breathing after being underwater too long. I'm not healed. I still wake up sometimes reaching for a person who doesn't exist anymore. But I've learned this. Trust is fragile, and manipulation is quieter than screaming. If you're reading this and your gut is warning you, listen. Love shouldn't make you feel small, confused, or disposable. Walking away hurt, but staying would destroyed me. The quiet after the separation was the strangest part. No shouting, no accusations, just an empty house that still smelled like her shampoo. At first, I thought peace would feel better. Instead, it felt like standing in a burned-down room, staring at outlines where furniture used to be. She kept trying to rewrite history through mutual friends, saying I'd emotionally abandoned her years ago, that I'd driven her into someone else's arms. One friend showed me screenshots where she claimed I was controlling and cold. Another twist. She told people I cheated first. I started doubting my own memory, wondering if I'd really been that absent. Therapy helped with that. My therapist called it gaslighting, said it's common when someone can't face what they've done. Hearing that word out loud didn't fix anything, but it gave shape to the chaos. A few weeks later, I learned she was pregnant. She texted me in the middle of the night, panicking, asking if I'd take her back for the baby. My heart almost stopped. Then she admitted she didn't know whose it was. That was the moment something finally snapped into place. I realized she didn't want me. She wanted stability, an audience, someone to clean up her mess. I told her, as gently as I could, that the child deserved honesty, and I deserved a life that wasn't built on guessing. She called me selfish. She said I'd regret this when I was old and alone. I cried after that call, not because I missed her, but because I finally understood how deeply broken our marriage had been long before the affair. Now it's been several months. The divorce is almost final. I've started rebuilding in small, awkward steps, new routines, new furniture, a different gym so I don't run into ghosts. Some days I'm angry again. Some days I'm grateful. The biggest lesson I've learned is that betrayal rarely starts in the bedroom. It starts when someone stops seeing you as a person and starts seeing you as a problem to manage. If you're reading this and you're in something that feels constantly confusing, where love is mixed with fear and self-doubt, please trust yourself. Ask hard questions. Set boundaries. walk away sooner than I did. I'm still learning how to forgive myself for ignoring the signs. But for the first time in a long time, my life feels honest. And that, strangely, feels like the beginning of healing. I didn't expect the healing to be this uneven. Some mornings I wake up light, almost hopeful, like I've been released from a bad dream. Other days I'm back in that night, staring at the screen, rereading words that still burn. I ran into her once at the grocery store. She looked thinner, nervous, not glowing the way she always pretended to be online. She tried to smile and said, "You look good." I said thanks and kept walking. My hand shook for 10 minutes after. Later, a mutual friend told me the baby wasn't either guy's. Another twist I didn't need. She'd apparently gone quiet, disappeared from social media, moved back in with her mother. For a second, I felt sorry for her. Then I remembered the lies, the planning, the way she told me I'd never leave. Pity faded fast. Dating again was strange. The first woman I went out with laughed too loudly, and I flinched, waiting for the manipulation that never came. I kept expecting hidden phones, secret exits, excuses. Instead, there were simple things: honesty, awkward silences, genuine apologies. It showed me how warped my sense of normal had become. I started telling parts of my story to friends, carefully, and realized how many of them had ignored red flags in their own relationships. One even admitted my post helped him confront his wife. That scared me and comforted me at the same time. I'm still not sure I trust myself fully, but I'm learning. Trust isn't blind anymore. It's slow, deliberate, earned. And maybe that's healthier. So here's my final update. The divorce is done. The house is mine. The dog sleeps on my side of the bed now. I don't hate her anymore, which feels like a bigger victory than I expected. What I learned is simple but brutal. Love doesn't survive without respect, and loyalty isn't something you negotiate after it's gone. If you're in a relationship where you're constantly questioning your reality, where apologies turn into accusations, please don't wait for proof like I did. Sometimes the absence of peace is proof enough. I'm not fixed, but I'm free. And for anyone out there scrolling through these posts at 3 a.m., wondering if you're crazy, you're probably not. Listen to yourself. That voice might be the only one telling you the truth.